The lie of evolution that has been destroying the Genesis, the very foundation for Christianity beliefs. Evolution over the past 60 to 80 years has been destroying the very foundation of Christianity, a belief in God and encompassing moral issues of all Christianity. Churches across denominational lines have been asleep at the wheel on this, not seeing the dangers and the fundamental reason why so many people have lost their faith and walked away from the church. The atheists, the drivers of our schools and education media, have understood this from the very beginning. If you destroy a belief in Genesis, i.e. through evolution, you destroyed the Judeo Christian church. After all, if Genesis is nothing more than a fable, everything else could be a fable. Or what else is a fable within the Bible? Atheist Frank Zindler said this in a debate. The most devastating thing that biology did to Christianity was the discovery of evolution. Now that we know that Adam and Eve never were real people, the central myth of Christianity is destroyed. If there never was an Adam and Eve, there never was original sin. If there never was original sin, never was a need of salvation. And if there's no need of salvation, there's no need of a Savior. And I submit that puts Jesus, historical or otherwise, into the ranks of the unemployed. I think evolution is absolutely the death kill of Christianity. Atheist Frank Zindler. Evolution, fact or fiction? Evolution teaches that life arose from non-life, ever increasing in complexity due to time and chance mutations. Evolution espouses disorder, chaos, to order, complexity. This is in direct contradiction of what Einstein calls the premier law of science, the second law of thermodynamics, which states that everything moves from order, complexity, to disorder, chaos. For evolution to be valid, we must go with the observable scientific facts. We must follow the scientific method. Evolution states that life arose from non-life. What are the observable facts? This has never been observed to happen. Spontaneous generation of life, life from non-life, was proven invalid in the mid-1800s by Louis Pasteur. As a matter of fact, our whole food chain depends on the impossibility of life springing from non-life. How could we live if we could not trust this truth? Can you imagine opening a fresh jar of peanut butter from the grocery store and find something growing in it? As smart as man believes himself to be, how in the world are we expected to believe that life arose from non-life by random chance when man cannot produce a simple form of life, even a single-cell organism, from the chemicals of life in a test tube? Furthermore, even if man could take the chemicals of life and produce a living organism, all it would prove is it took an intelligent designer to make it happen. Evolution states that life evolved from simple single-cell forms to more complex multicellular organisms, finally to man by chance mutations in time. Furthermore, the mutations had to produce new genes in order for a new species to occur. This is a preposterous mechanism. Not only has this never been observed, but it would ultimately require new male and female mutated organisms of the same kind produced at exactly the same time, with gene additions, since we know the species always produce after their own kind. Sir Francis Crick, the discoverer of DNA genetic code, calculated the probability of 1 times 10 to the 260th power, that is a 1 followed by 260 zeros, that nature could ever produce by chance even a simple protein, let alone 2 new species of the same kind, both male and female. For mathematical purposes, times 10 to the 50th power is considered to be mathematically impossible, let alone 10 times 10 to the 260th power. Mutations are going the wrong direction to support evolution theory. All known mutations are either benign or harmful to an organism. There is not one known mutation in the human race proven to be a benefit to man. We have over 2,000 known human genetic disorders. Scientific observation shows mutations are moving from order to disorder or chaos. This is the exact opposite of what evolutionists require to support their theory. Einstein's right. Darwin's wrong. Evolution states that we have moved from simple to ever more complex forms, but what we actually observe is extinction of species, as in survival of the fittest or natural selection. We have never observed one new species come into existence. Dogs beget dogs. Cats beget cats. You never see them change into anything other. If evolution was true, we ought to have hundreds of thousands of intermediate species in the fossil record. Evolution teaches the reptiles developed into birds and mammals, but where are the half birds and half reptiles and everything else in between? We have an absence of intermediate species in the fossil record. The evidence against evolution is overwhelming. The evidence of a creator God is overwhelming. For more evidence, this is just a sampling. Just Google Answers in Genesis by Ken Ham. The Institute for Creation Science. The Colby Center for Creation Science. Videos from Evolution to Creation by Dr. Gary Parker. Videos of creatures that defy evolution. The Milwaukee Creation Society. This is just a sampling of what's out there. Take some time and look at it. We must get involved in this battle, in this cultural war.